everyone, I hope you're well. I'm here with another video for you, and it's all about how to do research in med school. Now, this is something that I really struggled with initially and kind of had to be a bit savvy and put myself forward a lot and not be shy. That's what this video is about, and I hope you enjoy my tips. So, first thing, I would say that if you can find opportunities before even coming to med school, you'll be at an advantage, because for the UK anyway, there's a point system for getting an F1 spot, and you're competing with all of the medical students in the UK, and you can get up to 2 points for different publications. If you can get one from a previous degree, so if you did a bachelor's or a master's or even a PhD and have previous publications, then that's an advantage for you. It's a little bit less work for you when you're in med school. I did a bachelor's and I did a really good final year project, and I was so blessed with my opportunities that I got from it. And it was an external final year project. It was with the bioengineering department at my university, not the biomedical department. So I was really lucky with my final year project and what the things I got to do and what I got to work on. However, I was part of a massive research team, and they were very busy, and I was kind of at the bottom of the ranking the bottom of the hierarchy. There were people doing PhDs, people doing masters, so when it came to pushing for publications, they were kind of the focus, and I really believe that I could have got a publication if I was a bit more knowledgeable about what to do. Just so you know, and so you're aware, you don't need to be an expert with publications to publish. All you need is a supervisor, someone who can coach you with what you need to do to get it up to a good standard, and just submit it to a journal. It's that simple and that easy. I did not understand the process. I thought that it could only be someone with a PhD or someone that's higher up, not just someone without even a degree, could submit. I thought it was only those people that had more experience and are more senior than me that could submit. I could have submitted, and I probably would have got a publication out of it because it was that sort of quality, my project. Hindsight's a great thing. That's just something that I just wanted to impart, because I could have got something out of it and didn't in the end. Have a look beforehand what you can do and how you can maximise your final year projects and theses, and see what you can get out of it. My medical school programme is a 4-year programme. It's a graduate programme, and in your first year it's kind of intense. It's like 2 years combined. Most UK medical degrees are 5 years, so the first year is combined with the second year, like the UK programme, and squished, and it's packed full of loads of basic clinical sciences. That's what the first year is. In this year, it's your lightest clinical year. You maybe do a placement once every few weeks or once a month, and it's just for a day. This year is a good year to kind of get to grips with research methods and how you analyse and read through a clinical paper and things like that, to familiarise yourself. Then from there, you can contact people in your university. There were a few mentions of research floating around when I was in first year, but it was all still very new to me, and I didn't know how much I would need to do and how much time I would have to give up. But I would advise, when you have, we had something called CPH, we would learn about stats and ethics. Those lectures, they are usually given by a statistician or an epidemiologist. These people are involved in so many research projects because people need them to analyse quantitative data. The average doctor doesn't do all of their stats analysis themselves. They get a statistician, so they will know what projects are going on in the area, what research inputs you can get involved with. Like a larger study, they'll know a lot about the larger studies that are happening. Either find their details at the beginning of the year. Your university website will have every doctor that's involved in teaching on their website, and you have their email addresses, so just go on there and send them an email and say you're interested in doing research. If you're really keen, you can write a longer message and explain who you are, explain what you plan to do and what you hope to specialise in later, your interests, and just show them that you're very keen and willing to put work in to get into research. So you can also send your CV along as well. I've had a couple of doctors ask me for mine when I was interested in research. In second year is, at least in my school, half clinical teaching and half lecture PBL based. So it's a mix, 5 weeks on, 5 weeks off. I found that this year was a good year because you were in hospitals more, getting exposure to different medical professionals and different doctors, and these doctors, you can just ask the question. We had a couple mention that there were interesting cases, and I created a poster that I presented at a conference based on a clinical case that was interesting. So these don't necessarily count to points towards F1, but they are great for your CV, especially if you're interested particularly in that specialty. I did mine in vascular surgery, not something that I ever expect to go into, but it was just a good experience, good exposure for me, and I got to travel to Austria for it. That was just from a lecture that a doctor gave, and he mentioned that there was an interesting case, and if anyone wanted to write it up. So that happened a few times during my second year. Just try and be the first person. Med school is all about being a gunner and being the first person to get there. So do what you can and maximize second year in that you have new people that you're meeting, new doctors who you can approach for research opportunities. I'm just gonna have a sip of my tea. In our second year, we also had something called a student selected component. We had one in first year, but that was just an essay that we wrote, I believe. It was so long ago. We had a 5-week project that we could do in any specialty that we wanted, any hospital around the world, and it was meant to be a research focus. So this was such a good opportunity, and I actually did it with a paediatrician because I'm interested in paediatrics, and created a poster. It wasn't of the caliber to present at a conference or anything, because personally for me, I was ill around that time and it didn't quite work out how I wanted. But this is such a great opportunity for you to find a doctor that has good standing research-wise and publishes regularly, and express to them from the outset that you aim to publish and contribute to scientific literature, modern clinical literature out there, and see if you can impact clinical practice. That will show that you're serious and show that you hope to get something out of this 5-week placement. A lot of students just go and try to finish it as quickly as possible and then go and have the longest summer of their life, which is great. There's no problem with doing that. If you're hoping to contribute to your F1 points and want to get a research project and publication, then definitely make use of it. Go abroad if you're interested in doing that, or find someone within your university that has really good research outputs and that you strongly believe you can publish with. Also, I have a cold, so I'm a bit more nasal than usual. For my third year, which I'm in now, I took a couple years off, which you'll have heard about in my previous videos. I asked my friend, one of my very, very good friends who was still in med school in the year below me, I asked her if she knows anyone that's actively doing research at the moment and who they're doing it with. And thankfully she sent me either a doctor that I've been working with in obstetrics and gynecology on a number of papers. I've been so blessed and lucky to have been given his details, and he is so keen with research. Like, there was a point where that had taken over my life, like more so than studying in med school, which probably wasn't the best, but it's getting me 3 publications out of it. So ask around, find people who are that you know are doing research as well. You might have friends that are doing research, or a friend's friend that's doing research. There's no harm in asking. There's plenty room to contribute. There's a culture in med school to try and keep everything to yourself and keep resources to yourself, and just so you can be better than everyone else. But with research, there's so much room for people. Also, you can make a group of friends, colleagues that you know you work well with, and get together to either create a poster or a paper, find a doctor and just approach them together, and it will make the workload lighter while you're in med school. And this is something that's great if you're coming into final year as well. Although you might have missed the boat with getting the points for F1, it's still great for your CV and specialty applications. It kills like 5 birds with 1 stone, where a group of 5 might have worked on a case report each, or a literature review. Alone, that might have taken 9 months, 6 months, a few months, but together it could take 1 or 2 months as a group working on it. Although there's the whole authorship issue and order of names and all of that sort of stuff, it really doesn't matter at this stage in our career. We're so junior, And if work can be made easier and you still get the benefit from it, then do it. Just find a group of people that you get on well with. At the moment, I've just started working on 2 projects with my group that I'm in the hospital with, and we get on really well. We see each other every day, so we can hound each other if someone's not pulling their weight. And I've got a very good friend that I socialise with outside of med school. We're working on a poster together for a conference that's coming up. There's so many opportunities in med school. You don't need to tread on people's toes to get there and get to the top. You can take others with you. So I hope that this has kind of demystified how to do research in med school. And if you don't get any research opportunities, it's not the end of the world. You're still going to graduate, you're still going to be a doctor. When you're working, you can take part in an audit in the hospital, and you can write a letter to the editor of a journal, and that can be published, or take part in a wider public health study, because you're actually working on the front line in the hospitals, not just a student. So I hope this has been beneficial, and I will see you in the next one.